Okay, so in this one we're going to bring in some percussion loops into our tune. And we're going to begin by inserting a new MIDI track, and I'm going to rename this one to, we'll call it our Tom Brush, because that's the sample we're going to be bringing in. And if we go over to the left here and go to our samples folder, it's this one here we want to bring in. So I'm just going to drag it over, drop it into the bottom so that it comes up in a simpler device. So we can now audition the actual sample. So I'm going to bring this sustain back, and we're going to have a nice click to the sound. We just want it nice and short and sweet. And what we're going to do is program in some 16th notes. So if we go to C3, it's going to draw in some 16ths, and then I'm just going to duplicate those. And to make sure you're playing 16ths, you can right click and set your grid to 16. So I'm going to add a bit of flavor to this by just introducing the transpose control. So this will add a bit of color to it, a bit of pitch. And then I'm going to go to our device browser on the left here, and I'm going to go to the library and then the grooves, and I'm going to go to the swing folder. And because we're working in 16ths, we need to go to swing 16, and then we need to pick the actual swing that we want. So I'm going to go to swing 16, and I'm going to go to the swing 70 and drop it onto that. We can obviously adjust the overall amount that the actual groove pool has control over the song. So if you don't want any of your timings to be affected at all, you can bring this whole global value down to 0. Or you can start to introduce it by increasing that value. So we're going to set it just in around 80 or so. Now I'm going to add some overdrive onto this brush sound as well. So if we go to Lives Devices and the overdrive, drop it in. Just going to push the drive right up. I'm going to keep it in the middle here, just so that we're boosting those sort of mid frequencies. Dynamics up as well, just to really squash the sound. And then we'll just bring the volume of the track back. And then just on the bottom here, we've got this spread control. It's just a bit of a unison effect. Gonna push that up to 100. And then we'll slightly pan this to the left as well. And then if we create another MIDI track, I'm going to call this one Hats. And if we go to our devices and grab a drum rack this time, I'm just going to put 2 on. Get rid of the macros. And if we go to our samples folder, I'm going to grab the splash sound. And I'm going to grab the shaker one. And we want this to be nice and, again, snappy. So what I'm going to do is bring back the sustain, and then the decay. We'll decide how snappy it's going to be. So there's splash, and then the shaker. Bring back the sustain, and then the decay. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put in some 16th notes. So I'm going to put 16 on both. We'll just highlight those and duplicate with Apple and D on a Mac, Control and D on a PC, and then Alt and click those up. With the splash sound, what I'm going to do is just pan it off slightly to the left. And with the shaker, I'm just going to add a bit of random pan to that one. turn that up and that'll just pan it randomly about. Set it to about 10%. Or you can set it hard panned if you wish. And then I'm going to go to the groove pool at the bottom left here. Again, accessible by these wee wavy lines. I'm going to pick one of our swings. I'm going to go over the MPC swing that we had previous to the 60 swing. So it's just slightly off from the one that we have. It's just slightly off to the swing that we have on the tom brush, but it sits well with the mix. So I'm going to add in one final MIDI track for this, and we're going to call it our percussion. Called percussion 2. And if we go to our samples folder, got to grab percussion 2 and drop it in there. And then if we just go to our, again, our sustain, bring that back. And our decay, we'll bring it back as well. Just so we get a nice click. And we're going to do the same again, go to C3 and make some 16th notes. And I'm going to drop in the swing 1675 swing onto this one. And again, we're going to grab an overdrive control from the device menu. And this time, we're going to push the drive up, but we're going to bring back the bandwidth control, just so we're only affecting a small amount of the signal. And that'll bring the volume of this track back as well. And again, I'll turn the spread control on. And then I'm going to pan this one off to the right. So again, you can play around there with the overdrive till you get something that you're happy with. In the next tutorial, we're going to bring in some more percussion parts and a shaker loop as well.